off of it. Now you want to lubricate. So you clean first, then you lubricate. Of course, we're going to be using, again, the hoppies. We're going to make sure that we don't use too much oil. This is something and really it depends on the gun, because some guns, you'll hear the phrase, they like to run dry, and some like to run wet, like the Glock likes to run dry, from what I understand, and which means you don't use a lot of oil. Other guns would require a lot of oil because of the functioning parts. I say this: the more oil that you put on, the more opportunity it is to create, as dust and things get into that oil, it creates a dirty gun. So as least oil as you can use, and the gun still function properly, that's where I would lean towards, rather than over oiling your gun. The only time you would ever use a lot of oil on a gun is if by chance you were going to be putting that gun away for a time, if you were going to be storing it and not going to be firing it. So, that being said, how much oil would I use? Well, when I clean, I simply put a few dabs of oil on the center of my little patch, just enough to kind of wet the center. I go back to my plunger, I stick my plunger through, and that goes through the barrel a couple of times. Now the barrel is as oiled as I want it to be. That's about as much oil as I want on the inside of the barrel. Now, as for the rest of the gun, I'm going to do it with my fingers and very light, just a couple of drops. Just kind of mix that, just kind of get that around, and you can feel this because this oil is very potent. I can feel it on my fingertips now. So as I'm oiling the gun, I know this is getting a good bit of oil as I'm putting oil, especially on the slide, because that's obviously one of the main moving parts as it functions back and forth. As I go to put oil on the frame, I'm making sure that I put oil on the slide portions. I do not want there to be any problem with that slide not wanting to move back and not function properly. So I put oil there. I oil the outside of the barrel lightly, just wiping it down as I get ready to put it back together. So I'm wiping everything down, set the barrel back in. Now I can set the spring assembly in. And now this portion is ready to go. This is all back together properly, and now putting it onto the slide, simply line everything up, making sure everything is sliding properly. Then I slide it back, push that release up to hold the slide back, press down on this little pin, and let's see here, there we go, and twist up on that pin. Once I've twisted up, the firearm is back together, and I can release, slide forward, do a function check, which is simply rack the slide a few dozen times just to make sure that everything is put back together properly. It's not going to get caught halfway and not be able to release. And now I want to just take my oiled piece here. I'm going to wipe with a light coat of oil on the outside of all the metal pieces. Of course, I don't have to oil the plastics, the polymer part of the firearm. So I wipe everything down, and the gun is clean, and it's ready for me to either put away or to begin carrying again. And of course, like I said, now it's time for me to go and wash my hands and make sure that I am not putting food or drinking anything, putting food in my mouth or drinking anything while I'm doing this, because again, all I'm doing is introducing that lead into my system. The final thing I want to mention is, well, two things actually. One, you may want to invest in slide grease. And slide grease actually would go onto the slide mechanism, which sits inside of this housing here. that's something that you can put on periodically to ensure that that slide is working properly. I don't have any. I don't use it typically. I find oil does good enough, but you may want to do that. Secondly, I get this question a lot. How often should I clean a gun? And I've heard some people make the joke, it's a little silly, but they say, well, hey, every time I go to the restroom, I clean. But yeah, at the same time, here's something to think about. If you are a person who shoots on a very regular basis, like myself, who I would shoot probably at least once a week, sometimes even twice a week, it's a good idea to simply keep a record of how often you're shooting your gun. How often are you, how many rounds are you going through? And I would say that, normal trip to the range is about 100 to 200 rounds. And if I only go to the range and shoot 5 rounds because I need to sight something in, or for whatever reason, that's all I wanted to do that day was just practice my trigger control, or whatever reason. If it's 5 rounds or if it's 10 rounds, I'm not going to come home and break my gun apart over 10 rounds. Again, that's my opinion. Other guys may have something different. Of course, they can share those opinions and why they're different. However, I say anywhere between 100 and 200 rounds, I would be ready to clean the firearm and make sure that that it's functioning properly and that I haven't created any buildup inside. So that's all opinion, and there are many different opinions out there, and of course we're not always going to agree, and that's why the world is as good as it is because we can all share our opinions and just enjoy each other's differences. So again, thanks for watching the video, and God bless.